to replace Devon Smith. Came into a, well, I suppose you'd say a mixed reception from a big crowd here. Of course, there has been a lot of consternation in Guyana because of the replacement of Carl Hooper, a Guyanese, by Lara as captain, and then subsequently Hooper's withdrawal. Well taken. Flick the pad down the leg side. That's a wonderful take. Because he's round the wicket. Gilchrist has to stand wide. Taking it right down the leg side.
Has to go a long way, Gilchrist, and did it pretty well, and in the end very well. So it may have been a mixed reception for Lara today, but next Saturday when he walks out the bat in front of his home crowd, it will be anything but. I dare suggest the mood might change if he gets himself 150 or 160 this afternoon. Lara's come to the crease because Gillespie had Smith in a lot of trouble. Just left him a little bit. Didn't bounce very much, but a nice edge for Gilchrist. He's pretty happy. 153 not out in Barbados in 1999 against Australia.
Nice little deflection, gets him off the mark for 2. No ball, won't get any runs for that. He didn't offer a shot. Deliberate padding away. He gives it. Well, that's surprising. It looked as if it was a deliberate act of padding away by Lara, and if that was the case, he wouldn't have got the runs. There's the no ball, quite a long no ball. But he did signal leg byes as well, so that'll count 4 + 1.
Ricky Ponting there telling the umpire it hit him on the pad and he didn't play a shot. So Ponting, he knew that it should have been, and he's still going on about it. He's saying there it is. Lara let the ball hit him. It should have been a dead ball. That's the signal that Ponting was motioning there. So Lara gets inside, deliberately lets it hit him. And Ponting saying, hey, hang on, umpire, he didn't play a shot. Should have been a dead ball.
Batted wonderfully in that first innings. Well, we talked about umpires. We've talked about umpires and maybe should they be judged on their performances. Obviously they do. They get reports put in on them. Well, that's a nice shot there, Brian Lara. That'll be 4. Don't bother chasing that. Got him at ease, that one. Just ran into it, squeezed it in front of point. Beautiful timing.
No great effort there at all from Brian Lara. What placement.
That's a beautiful shot, isn't it? Look at the head, the balance, just straight over the ball. Didn't try to overhit it, just turned the wrist to get the angle for the gap. Now, just getting back to what I said before, we talk about umpires, well, we talk about players getting dropped on performance. But what about teams too, Michael, on performances in international cricket? What do you think about that?
I think that needs to be looked at as well. You know, teams that do get promoted to test status, and then it is obvious when they do get that test status that they're not quite up to it. Either the West Indies, ICC, has to try and pump a lot of money, a lot of resources, a lot of manpower, whatever it takes to try and build that team, get them to the right level where they're acceptable at test level, or you'll have to think about demoting them again. And Bangladesh comes quickly to mind.
Well, there's another nice shot. Forget about that one. That's just raced away off the bat. That's what happens when you come around the wicket. If you don't get it right to a bloke like Lara, get it into his legs with that angle. You just see the angle there now, helping it on its way. That's all he did, is just change the angle a little bit of the bat. And really the ball was always squirting that way, and he just helped it on its way. That's where all the pace came from.
And of course, with the added pace of Brett Lee, all it takes is just proper timing. That's Steve Waugh on his way down to have a quick chat with Jason Gillespie, constantly thinking of what to do next. Still only 2 men in that slip cordon. The first slip and Justin Langer, almost a gully, not quite gully. Edged through the gap.
Well, that was a flashy strike. Brian Lara does have a big back left. That one just hurried onto him a little more bounce. Ricky Ponting is in a sort of a gully come forth floating slip area, and it went past him. It's Justin Langer there, sorry, the same build. Well, I'm looking at him from behind here out the window. Justin Langer there, just wide of him to his right.
Well, that's a good bit of fielding from Ricky Ponting. But Darren Langer was in his crease, no problems there for the West Indies. 139 for 2. Steve Waugh has left the field again. Not too sure if he's having any reactions to that injury he got earlier on. That's Martin Love on the field for him at mid-on. Again, Ricky Ponting would have taken over the leading of the team, the captaincy.
Brian Lara's outstanding big scoring career. Three of those big scores against Australia. Andy Bickler has replaced Jason Gillespie. Gillespie bowling 5 overs after lunch, 3 before. And in that spell of 8 overs, he took 1 for 12. So, and since lunch, 5 overs for 5. Very fine. That's a no ball call to begin the spell.
.150 up as well for the West Indies. 151 for 2. Good looking scoreboard.
Just got it through. And it's beaten them. Those side boundaries are short. And as we've been saying all along, the outfield is very dry, it's very fast. Proliferation of boundaries all the way through the match.
What's acting against the fielders as well, apart from the fact that the boundaries aren't that big, is the fact that the boundary is something you wouldn't want to be sliding into. Not far beyond. Not far beyond the actual boundary is the fence. Lots of grounds around the world you see fielders sliding, pushing the ball back, going into the boundary. Don't think you really want to be sliding into those fences. That's why the foot is more used than the hand. There is that fence immediately beyond the boundary.
Pulled away by Lara. That's the kind of shot we've seen Lara play quite frequently in the past against McGill. Fractionally short, pick the leg break and put it away.
That forward short leg, Darren Lehman in a bit of bother there. Suppose he's a bit straight, he won't really be in too much danger if Brian Lara really plays the pull shot well. The plane's a bit squarer than where he is.
Hog on for the first time for the day. Comes on just past 2 o'clock here, local time. So that's an hour and just over an hour and a quarter after lunch. So halfway through the day. he's going to have his first ball.
That's more in hope than in expectation, one would have to say. First part was correct. It had to pitch in line. Had to straighten, which it did as well, but still a fair distance for the ball to travel. And with a spin, it's going to continue going in that direction. Sweep shot. That's 4. A fraction off line there, Brad Hogg. Certainly doesn't want to be pitching outside Brian Lara's leg stump. That's what he did. Just paddled it. Very fine.
So they've done pretty well up to now, but a lot more to do. And not to forget, they've got a couple of injured batsmen. Shivnarine Chandapal, we understand, will have to bat with a runner. Reddy Jacobs, we're not certain about his position. Swept away by Lara to go for 4. That boundary brings up his 2,000 runs in Test matches against Australia. He's the 5th West Indian to reach that landmark, and there are some quite famous names in that list. He's the 15th overall. It's 194 for 2. Well, he's got the sweep shot away this time. A long chase for Hogg, and kicks it into the boundary. So the West Indies are just 1 away from 200, getting to 199 with that sweep for 4 by Lara, and just getting his hand on the top of the fence there, Bickle. And painful.
And not a lot of difference between that and the Australian one, was it? Well, after lunch yesterday, only 1 wicket down, plenty of runs.
The 4th sweep shot that Brian Lara has played in the last 20 minutes, 3 of them off Brad Hogg. And that is a source of frustration for the left-arm leg spinner.
Yes, I think there was always the worry about Lara and the spinners being on. They were concerned, they were hoping that the fast bowlers would remove him, but that wasn't so.
Sweep shot number 5, and the result is the same for Brian Lara. Brings up his 50 as well. His 38th half-century in Test match cricket, and it's come at another important time.
Well, aren't they happy here at the border ground? Everybody standing, waving, clapping Brian Lara through this one. He didn't get that reception when he walked out, but I tell you what, he's getting it right now. And there's the different looks on the skippers there. Steve Waugh, a little concerned. Brian Lara, well, he's not showing too emotion. He knows he's got a long way to go. He's got to cash in on this pitch. That's how he's done it so far.
That'll be 4 more as well. Fantastic shot, wasn't all that short. 100 partnership comes up between Ganga and Lara, and the crowd are on their feet. He was half booed, half cheered when he walked out to bat in the first innings, but now it's all cheering.
Well, that's right, they love him now, don't they? 103 this partnership, 157 deliveries so far. And that was a beautiful shot from Brian Lara. Rocked back on the back foot, just picked the gap there, wide of mid-on and mid-wicket. There it is. Not all that short, just rock back, play the ball perfectly through that gap there, timed it beautifully.
Yeah, they've packed in. They've certainly come in their numbers. And they've seen shots like this. Value for money and value for shots as well. 4 more to Brian Lara.
Well, he's quickly under the length of McGill, isn't it? Hitting with the spin, anything that's a touch short, really punishing it. Wasn't really that much difference there, was it? Just a little bit short in the slowness of this pitch. Lara just back and pulled this with real authority.
It's gone past Darren Ganga as well. Loud appeal. The head just moving from side to side from umpire De Silva.
Yes, that won't be too far away, this one. A good delivery from McGill. They're just pitching outside the line. There's no way in the world you're going to judge that hitting the stumps.
Bowling options for Australia, Jeff. Steve Waugh hasn't bowled for a long time in Test match cricket, but he was bowling this morning before play started, and we thought he was just rolling his arm over trying to keep loose. Just wonder if he would call into action.
Well, he might need to be. Here, Australia have come into this match with 5 specialist bowlers, which is something they haven't done for years. That's what Lara was trying to do the previous delivery. This time it was a sweep shot, and he smashed this through mid-wicket.
It just looks at the moment as though Brian Lara is having a net nonchalantly dismissed. There's a man behind square in the backward square leg boundary. This is hit well in front.
Well, this is a fair workout for Hogg. He wouldn't have bowled to a man quite of the ability of Lara.
It's gone for another one. They're coming at a rate. 10 off the over. McGill and Hogg going for a few. 230 for 2. It's the first time I've seen Brian Lara use his feet in this innings. It's taken him a long time against Hogg and McGill. Mid-off and mid-on up saving one.
Well, he's eyeing off that cover region. That's why he's using his feet. He's probably forgetting about the mid-wicket area now and thought, well, I'll go on the offside. They've left a big gap for him to try. Oh! Well, there's that big gap I'm talking about right there. From that area they're concerned, and that entails quite a reasonable bit of the paddock. And that's what he's eyeing off. That's what he's trying to do, hit it out that way.
And with that sweeper on the boundary, they've left that huge gap, so they want him to push for the single, but there's a silly mid-off who can also be available for the bat pad catch. But he'll have to do better than that, because he's banged it just where Jeff Thompson was illustrating.
Yes, just a touch short there from Hogg. And Lara quickly onto that. He's got to pitch him up. He's got to make him use his feet. Can't afford to pull him in short like that. He could just hit that where he wanted. They were the balls he was pulling in the previous over, if I remember correctly. Now he's decided to hit him over that way where they left the gap. That's how good he is. You've got to be good to do it.
Played it deliberately down and hit it pretty hard. That's a magnificent shot. Fumbled on the boundary and goes for 4. That's Hogg down there. His wrong side, and perhaps he didn't anticipate the ball would have come so quickly.
Very good shot. He just wanted a bit more bounce, Lara, before he played the cross-bat shot. He got what he wanted, slammed it into the ground, and Hogg got an unfortunate bounce.
So scores are now level. West Indies have wiped off the deficit of 252 and now go into the black. End of the over, 253 for 2. Pulled away. So that's a 150 partnership between the two. Lara gets a boundary. Carries him to 97.
It's one of the problems when you bowl around the wicket to a left-hander and you bowl it short on a slow pitch. Plenty of time to play the shot, plenty of time to organise where you're going to place it to. So the short delivery has to be outside off stump, not coming in at the body. didn't get up either as much as Lara initially thought it was going to be, and then he just whacked it away for 4. He is in really good form.
There he goes. That's his 100. Brian Lara with his 19th Test 100, slapping his rival captain Steve Waugh for 4. His 700 against his favourite opponents, the Australians. His 4th as captain, his 1st as restored captain. Congratulations, and a handshake from Adam Gilchrist.
Outstanding century by Brian Lara. From the moment he walked to the crease, he was disciplined, he was strong, and he was going to ensure that he got in on this pitch and stayed in to give his side the chance to get involved in the game. They now lead by 16, and not all due to Brian Lara, but the majority of it is Brian Lara. His captaincy yesterday was very good after a first session which yielded no wickets. A 2.5-hour session, and still the West Indies couldn't get a wicket as Ponting and Langan did their own thing. In the remaining 4 hours, they bowled Australia out. I know a lot to do with Brian Lara's captaincy, and today he's carried it on. His brain is in very good batting gear. Poor delivery from Steve Waugh, and there's the 100, and there's the pumping of the fist to celebrate his 19th Test 100. He's a complex superstar.
And he can bat a bit. And there's Adam Gilchrist with a handshake.
Well, he's not going to like that. LBW appeal, the next ball swept before just about, you might as well say.
Not great bowling at great pace, so he can afford to play the sweep shot, and that's exactly what he has done. No point in playing the pull shot with the man in front of square. Find the gap. Steve Waugh continues. This is his 8th over. Well played again by Brian Lara. At this stage of his innings, he's seeing that ball very well.
Yeah, it's just using the angle. Steve Waugh just squirting it down past, slip really through a gully region there. He knew the 3rd man was fairly square. Just milking the bowling, he called that. Didn't bother moving. He knew once he got it on its way, it was going to be 4.
Through the gap again. This will go all the way. It doesn't matter how quick Brett Lee is.
Yeah, it's just too full there from McGill. Hammered this one square through the point region. Well, they got their money's worth today, the crowd. Saturday crowd in here. Ground virtually full. That's a nice shot. Straight along the ground, forward a point.
Don't think Brad Hogg would be too unhappy with Brian Lara playing that sweep shot off that particular delivery. It's pitching in line with the stumps. It's straightening. Look at those scores. You'll be looking for something as big as that, Brian Lara, or as big as one of those. That was the sweep shot. Top edge and caught. Well, they're appealing for the hit wicket as well. The bails are off. So whether it was glove or not, that's the end of Brian Lara. Brad Hogg has done the job.
Well, that's a big wicket for the Aussies, especially with the new ball looming. Brad Hogg removing Brian Lara. Now that's a surprise, especially the way he's been treated there. Lara really disappointed. Everyone was looking to see if it was a catch, but what they missed out on was his hit wicket, trying to turn this ball around the corner. Well, it's just clipped the top of the stumps. Matthew Hayden makes ground there to pick up the ball. That's what they're appearing for. You'll just see this bat just clip the top of the stumps. Just comes out of his hand, bang, right on top of the bails just there. Unfortunate for Lara. As I said,